Welcome to the channel. So today I am working on this edit that I just recently shot, and I was playing with some really fun techniques of shooting with a lace curtain behind me. I think you can see in this image the lace right there underneath behind where I was shooting. So it's a really fun technique. If you have a piece of lace fabric, you can get things at a thrift store. You can order a lace sheer curtain panel on Amazon, and you just put it in front of some sunlight and it creates beautiful shadows and just a nice soft background. So let's jump in and work on this edit together. Okay, so when I was shooting this image, I only did one exposure. So let's go in and get started. I'm here in Lightroom, and if we look at the image, it's not completely blown out, but it is a little bit bright, and our subject is a little dull. So we really want those to be reversed. We want our subject to stand out and the background to just complement it. So I wanted to walk you through how I would edit this image. So let's get started on this one. So I will show you a couple others that I took. This is another image where the background is much brighter, and then I adjusted my settings. And this is another version where I just wasn't getting the light. It's nice, but I really think once we edit this image, it's going to be the one that is the standout shot with this beautiful background. Okay, so to get started, first thing I'm going to do is just some global adjustments. I'm going to reduce those highlights down a little bit, and I want to go ahead and open up the shadows, and that's going to make an impact right away. So now we can look at that histogram. It is kind of all over the place. There's so much in all areas of the image. Okay, so next thing that I want to do is go ahead and work on these flowers. So I'm going to use a mask, and I think the mask I want to use is I'm just going to use an object mask. And what I want to do is select the flowers, and we'll see how good it does for us. Let's show the overlay. It did okay. Let's go ahead, show overlay, and let's add to it. Let's just go ahead and use the brush, and let's just add this area as well, and kind of come up and add some of this. Now be sure when you are using the mask and the brush tool that you have it marked auto mask. That's going to help you get those little bits and pieces that make a difference. And so you can see that first one got that bit, and it just helps. So I highly recommend that you use that when you are making your edits. Okay, so now let's hide the overlay. And what I want to do here is I'm actually going to open up the whites a little, open up the shadows. There we go. Bring down the highlights because we don't want that area blown out. And it looks like I need to bring back the whites just a little bit. All right, so we opened up the shadows, and we're going to give it just a little bit of exposure, just a little. While I'm here with this selection, I'm also going to do a global saturation. So I'm saturating all the flowers at one time. So we're just going to bring those in. Now, as far as our temperature and tint, I think it looks pretty good. I could bring it and make it a little bit warmer, or I could make it a little cooler or leave it where it is. I'm actually going to add just a little bit of warmth, so like a +10, just to give it a touch of warmth since we had all that beautiful sunlight. Okay, I think that looks really nice. Now what I want to do is go ahead and add another mask. I'm just going to use the brush, and I want to just make a pop on this center flower. Now the benefit of that is I really want something to stand out in my image and draw your eye to it. So I'm just going to increase the exposure a little, but I also want to saturate that beautiful flower. So there we go. That's just giving it some more definition. Okay, the next mask that I want to do is actually a linear gradient, one of my favorite masks, and I'm going to do it in this corner. Now the reason is the focus of our image is in this area. So I want to go ahead and just darken this corner just a little bit so that our eye definitely stays in this realm. So it's just a little trick, just giving it just a little, I think it's negative 90, 96, just to reduce that exposure a little bit. Okay, let's add one more linear gradient. Maybe we'll do more than one, but let's do one at this top. I'm going to come down, and this is a trick I love to do. So because this is where our light is, I'm going to make this light a little bit warmer. So more like sunlight. Isn't that beautiful? It just gives it that extra touch and giving it that warm glow that we're looking for. Now, down in the bottom section of our image, I'm going to create a mask here, and I'm going to use a radial gradient. I think we might use all the mask available in this image. So I'm going to come in just kind of in this corner, and I want to do the same thing. I'm going to bump the exposure just a little bit, but I'm going to add that beautiful warm light. Look at that. So, so pretty. I think that makes the biggest impact to this image. Now, I do think I want to clean up this little branch that's sticking out. So we're going to go up to our remove tool. I'm not going to use the AI. I think just the standard remove tool will do it. So we'll see if that works. If not, we can always backtrack. It did almost all of it okay. We'll do that one more spot. See if we can get rid of that. And it may not have done what we wanted. Let me undo that. And I think it's okay. There's that spot. Let's just grab our heel and get rid of that. There we go. Okay. And don't think, let me just do this edge real quick. I don't see anything else. There might be one little spot down here, but I'm not going to worry about it. Now this little line right here, we could also try to get rid of. If you were going to print this or send it to someone, I would definitely clean this up. So let's go grab the remove tool. I think it's thinking about it. Let's come in. Oh, I think it did a pretty good job. I think I'm running faster than the computer today. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's just go over it one more time. I like to look for any big distractions. But if you're not going to print the image and it's just an image that you like for fun, then you may not want to deal with all the remove tool nonsense that happens. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like I get just caught in this web of trying to get something removed the right way. But technology is getting better and better. Okay, so I think that's going to work for me. I'm going to leave it there. And I think I'm really satisfied and done with this image. The only last step that you could do is you could come down to the color panel and we could enhance with the saturation, darken the orange a little bit. We could really deepen that yellow, a little magenta. So if you wanted to brighten those colors a little bit more, for me, I keep things a little bit more on the kind of normal side. Let's get rid of that update message. So I think it's really pretty, kind of the way it is. I do like the warmth that we added. Now, if you have an image where you have kind of light coming from all directions, you can always continue to add linear gradients. So I'm going to add one up here as well. And again, come down to that temperature. And there we go. We just give it that warmth and that light. You can also make sure it's use the hue and kind of move it over to the yellow and just make sure that, yeah, it's that nice warm light. All right, so I think that's going to do it for this edit. I'm really happy with it. Let's look at before. So that's our before image. So it was pretty plain, but I knew it had potential. And this is the after. Now, I edited another one earlier today that I followed this similar guideline. So let me show you this image, and I'm going to show you the before. This was at the same scene on the same day, and this is the after. Now, I did decide I was going to adjust that white balance just a little, but if I show you the mask that I did, I actually used 6 different masks on this image. So I enhanced the overall image. I did a linear gradient on this side to actually darken it. So that was bright before, and I decided I wanted to just darken it to take away that brightness. I did a linear gradient in this corner to darken it. I then went in and popped in some exposure on these brighter flowers. So that was kind of that custom light painting. I did another linear gradient and added that warmth with the yellow. And then I went in this corner, and actually right here, I'll turn it off. You can see it was kind of, I think it's a dirty window, to be honest, and I just wanted to de-emphasize it. So what I did is I went in and used the clarity and the texture and clarity and just slid those down so that it was not as prominent. So that is how I chose to edit this image. I was almost finished with it, and I think overall I would probably give it maybe just a little bump of exposure. Let me get back to the basic panel. Sometimes it's nice once you finish to just go back and see if you need to give something an overall exposure and decide if you need to do an overall warmth. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's edits and that you will try shooting with lace. Thanks so much for watching. Please take a minute to subscribe, like, and comment. It sure helps me out, and I love hearing from you. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good day.